Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, Lilibet Play channel. How is everybody in the world today in your time? Tonight in my time. So tonight is February 14 here in the Philippines. So we celebrate Valentine's Day ahead of time in the West. So happy Valentine's to everyone. How do you celebrate your Valentine's here in the Philippines? So let's celebrate the love month, okay? Not only for February 14, it's to celebrate the whole month. So let us celebrate the whole month of February exclusively for love month. Love month. And the weather here in the Philippines was pretty hot, okay? But on the noon time is not as sunny unlike last week. So it's a bit cloudy, and there's a certain time that it's sunny, and it's so windy, especially on my I stay there in my porch because I enjoy staying in the porch because it's windy. You don't really feel hot because once the two air condition is on, the hot came out from from the turbo of air condition. You feel really hot, but you don't because it's windy outside. So for those, okay, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna keep talking because I'm waiting for those who come on my live streaming. And by the way, for those who wants to join with me, feel free because I already post the link on my comment section. So for those who wants to join with me and share your idea about Valentine's Day, or February month is love day. So is that is necessary to celebrate Valentine's? Okay, so the February 14 is just only for for couple. Hi, Icy. Thank you for coming, Icy. Mm. Happy Valentine's, Icy. Is that true that in Japan? Okay, in Japan, a lot Japanese Japanese men, they're not the one who gave, unlike Filipino. I say that Filipino men, they give chocolate, flowers, but in Japan, that they prepare that women will give, this is I don't know if it's that true, because this is based that we have friend before, Mr. Uchida. So he tells us that in Japan, men are the one who receiver. Okay, so they do, white chocolate. They they prepare white chocolate for that. I have no idea about, but he just tell us because in Japan, they give more value about men. They give more respect men because they said that men is hard work. Okay, and then he told us that in Japan, especially on the train, if the woman if the woman sitting on the on the bench, they will give that to the men. And if somebody touch women's butt or any part of the body, they not really pay, they don't really pay attention if some women will complain about the men. But this is only for for Japanese people. Yeah, but this is one thing that I notice about Japanese people. If you give something, okay, they will give you something also. So it's just like, like Filipino, if you share food, oh my God, they really, for them, it's really, it's really need to give something, because this is what also I told Mr. Uchida. No, you don't have, because it's part of Filipino hospitality. Okay, we share food, but you don't have to give it right away. Okay, you don't have to give it right away. Okay. So is Japanese people, they celebrate New Year or lunar New Year? Because in Japan, the religion is more Buddhism. Okay. Yeah, because uh, this is I really admire, I really admire about the personality of Japanese people. Okay, you can really, you can really, if they promise you, they will, they have their word. Okay. So, and then, in Japan, people, like, unlike Filipino, we work for our family, for our children. But in Japan, they work for themselves, for the future, because they're not really into that they're gonna rely on, if somebody, when they get older, their family will take care of. So the money that they save, that's the time that they can use that when they get older. So I really like that way of thinking of Japanese people, because you don't really depend yourself to your family when you get older. But unlike Filipino, that they really rely on to their relatives or family. We basically take the obligation and responsibility too seriously sometimes. It can have cons and pros, but what it is. Okay. So I see. How is your kamusta yung araw ng mga puso mo diyan? Mapula ba ang puso mo o maputla o maputi? Well, actually, if you're gonna ask, celebrate, Valentine's, it's just like, it's just like for us, me and Frank, it's just like it's a normal day, because you don't have, if you love, if you're, especially if you're a couple, you don't have to wait until Valentine's, to show your love to your partner. No, it's not. We're not doing that. Okay. Every day we show our love. Every day, if I want to give Frank, presents or, gift, it doesn't matter for me. So it's just like, well, Frank, this morning, Frank told me, "Oh, would you like to go to eat dinner?" And I think, um, no. And then he said, "Would you like to go to movie?" And then I said, "No." And then I told him that, I want to stay home. I want to stay home. And then I just cook food that we love to eat. Okay. And then that's, I know to myself that, no matter what, we always, we look out to each other. So it's just like, it's not, that, everything. is inflation. Okay, so be practical. The love is always there. You don't have to wait until Valentine's, to show love. You have, love for me. Love is communication, appreciation, care, everything. So you don't have to wait until February 14th to show in your partner or your, wife or husband that you love. No, for me, every day is Valentine to us. Well, I don't really have a fancy celebration. I see just, stay home, cook food that we love, and yeah, and I enjoy, because Frank told me, you want some flower? What do you mean? I told him, what do you mean? What flower? A bouquet of flower? And then I told him, oh, no, no, thank you. And then this is one thing that, I have a short video on my, my rose. Okay. So I'm so happy that, I thought that my rose will not work well. But, I'm so glad that there's a lot of, flower buds, and, there's a flower that, I take a photo on that, because, so this is, I'm good with this, I'm good with it. So this is will last, and, as long as I take care of this, and, there's nothing wrong with the flower. The flower is always on my pot. Yeah, that's my flower. That's my rose. I'm very, the story about that, the rose that I post on my short, I say, is just like, I almost gave up that, because, I bought that, the other one, the other one is not really, did not work well. The other one is yellow, the color. And well, the that pink is, oh my god, I'm looking, is this gonna be last long? And I almost plan, to pull out and, throw it. But, when I wait, I don't want to give up this. I try, to do something and research about, what the rose wants. Is this one is direct in the sun? How long I gonna water this? And I learned that. So yeah, it worked. And I'm so grateful that, I got a beautiful flower from that. Yeah. But, I almost lost my patience for that IC. But hi, Cedric Gales, thank you for coming from Chicago. How is Chicago? My husband miss, to go to Chicago. My God, how is it? How is Chicago? Is still, you know, it's still snowy. Yeah, it's been not so bad. All right. So, what are you? What part of Chicago are you, Cedric Gale? So yeah, we don't, last year, no, we don't, it's just like our Valentine's Day is just like the winter has been mild. Yeah. So we don't really, because some people, okay, is Frank Knightwood. How is going to Cedric Games? So it's just like, for me, Valentine's is, you know, that's, well, some people, they just celebrate Valentine's, but, in real life, they're not really in good term. Okay, just to tell the tell people that, oh, we celebrate like this. But I really want to celebrate Valentine's, facts. Okay, born in west side of Chicago, but now reside in western suburbs. Well, we don't. Actually, we don't. I don't remember because like I said, IC is just like Valentine's. We don't really go on the February 14th to celebrate that. Okay. For me, I mentioned a while ago that Valentine's is every day. Okay, as long because that's love. Okay, love month. Because love is not only for one day. Okay, it's not only for one day love in on the February 14th. Okay, I'm talking about the love that lasts long, or the last until you until you're alive, or until you're together. Okay. Well, I think, because it's just like for me, it's just like, oh my God, Frank, like I mentioned this morning that, he mentioned everything, but, I'm good, I'm good. Important to me is, we have food in the, in the freezer, we have food in the fridge, anytime we can eat. So I don't really go that thing. Okay, I'm not, I'm a home person. I see, I'm a home person, so I just appreciate that he asked something that if ever that I would like to go places that he mentioned. But I prefer to stay home, just we talk, this morning when we wake up morning, we just talk everything, talk about how to plan a business. I have some idea about business plan. We talk and things, because for me, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You talk together and then changing ideas. Okay, because now here, if you're gonna go to the mall, it's crowded. And until now that still has COVID. I can notice that a lot of people catch colds. That's COVID. The only thing that it did not get worse because of the vaccine that we got. So that's protection from us, that we don't ended to 6 feet under. Okay, but I'm very careful about that. And in fact, we have things that we needed to sit down, talk. Okay, because you know uh time is time is gold. Time is gold. So it's important that as long as you have things that you can able to talk, just I cherish that. I cherish that because we never know, we never know. All right, brother Frank, just waiting to get off this hamster wheel and enjoy life like you. Oh, I am about 5 years away from retiring, and then hope to do a little more traveling with my wife. Okay, that's a good plan in the future, Cedric. Okay, I see. Some people they only have one day. Yeah. Well, just for me, I don't want to compete about that. I see. I'm just be I'm just talking, real talk. I don't want to compete that people celebrate February 14th. No, I don't have to. I don't have to, because Frank knows that every day I appreciate, every day I always show love to him. So I don't need to compete some people, to do that on the February 14th. No, I don't. because for me is every day is Valentine's to us. Every day is Valentine to us. I don't know. I see. I hope that some. I hope some people can relate of what I'm talking about. So I'm not really into the fancy, you know, the fantasy thing when it comes February 14. Oh yeah, because here's the thing that I start to like is, I'm almost I have book that Frank gave me to read. I'm not the type of person that love reading, okay, but I'm very enthusiasm to know what Robert Kiyosaki talking about, to business management, or make yourself educated when it comes to money management. So I'm very interested in that because this is very interesting to me because it tells that he has two dad, poor dad, and rich dad. So there's a lot of things that poor dad and average dad don't tell their children, but rich dad tells their kids how to make money. So it's just like it gets me interesting about you. So this afternoon we're talking about that, things that we can, because a lot of people, they work for money. They work for money. Having a job is just a short term solution for people's problem. Okay, that's a short term solution for people's problem when it comes to money. So I really want to know that the book says that instead you work for money, you have to learn money work from you. So that's kind of a, it's kind of a tricky question. So I try, keep reading, about that book because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. I'm not big on Valentine's Day, but they really try to push you to spend money here. Yeah, because just like here also, Cedric, in the Philippines, there's a lot of there's a lot of promotion, especially in the restaurant and the mall, or in hotel, okay, just to get money from people. They take advantage that of that kind of celebration, okay. So yeah, I don't fall for that. I don't fall for that, their promos when it comes to Valentine's Day. My God, like I said, that every day is my every day is Valentine's to us. Okay. Let me read this from IC. I choose a profession that doesn't feel like work. Okay, from Cedric Gales. Thank you, Frank. I'd like to visit you guys in Manila area someday. So I hope you all will have us over the dinner one day in the future. Yeah, why not? You know what, Cedric? One of the blogger that he stay in Ohio, Cincinnati. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Average Man Unplugged. So we invite him. So now he's in Thailand. So we invite him on the second time because he make I make him crazy, or I make him addicted with the Filipino sweet chili sauce. So I bought one of those bottles just to give it to him because they cannot find that in the States because just only a Philippine product. Okay, so he's crazy. It makes me laugh because every time he has live and I was there in Frank, he always mentioned that. And then, he's putting blame on me because, I'm the one who make him addicted with the Filipino sweet chili sauce because first time he tried, I make, shrimp rolls, okay? Or shrimp rolls, it's a kind of lumpia, that's a Filipino food. And then first time he try, and then with the sweet chili sauce, oh my god, every time he goes, he's looking for the Filipino sweet chili sauce. But he told me, you know what, Lily, I can't find the same taste of the sweet chili sauce that you serve to me. And then I told him, don't worry about that, Jerome. When you come back here again, I have some bottles for you. So, yeah, it makes me laugh about that. He was so addicted with the sweet chili sauce. Frank, una na muna ako, Lily. Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for dropping by, IC. Okay. Yeah, so just let us know, Cedric, if you want to contact us, on my channel, I have email there. So if you're ready to visit Manila, just send me an email. Okay. Okay, from IC. Let me read this. Love to stay, but I gotta go with the fam. Spread the love and share the stream. Thank you, IC. Okay, so have a nice stream, everyone. Cedric, nice meeting you. Okay. Okay, Cedric, Frank Tate. No, my brother, the only boat had was a little fishing boat back in the late 90s, early 2000 with my dad and uncles. Oh, okay. Well, I think that's the it's just like a toy that what do you call that, Frank? The one that you raised. So I think that's what Frank, that's what Frank talking about Cedric, because I think he has that. So don't forget, guys, to give me thumbs up for this. Okay. Okay, from Cedric Gills. Yeah, I saw average man unplug on your channel, which was inspired me to want to visit. And I've been to Cebu, Mactan, Lapu-Lapu a couple of years ago. So next trip there will be in Manila. Okay. Just let us know. Well, anytime, Rome is always, always welcome to visit us. And then, he said, he really wants to see the spread. Hi, Jane, the ultimate Filipina. Thank you for coming, Jane. Happy Valentine Day. Okay, likewise, Jane. So, how is your Valentine's celebration, Miss Jane? Well, so it's just like I don't really want to compete about the February 14th. Okay, how is the weather in? Are you still in Cebu, Jane? How is the weather there? Yeah. Well, it's just like okay, from Jane, the ultimate Filipina. Simple celebration. We just eat lunch outside. Well, that's good. Eating outside. But me, my celebration is just like very regular, very regular, very regular day. So I really avoid go on the crowded places. Oh, yeah, because now that there's we gonna experience El Nino, so that's the drought season here in the Philippines. So I think the summer is, we can feel the early summer season. Okay, from Frank. At Cedric Gales, there was a guy, last name Gales, that used to come to Hyde Park Motorboat Pond in Chicago and run in model gas powered boat. That is why I ask. I have enjoyed watching you cook pork chops because they are my favorite meal. My mouth be watering, wishing I could taste the pork chops through the TV. Frank is listening. What type? Oh my God! If you're gonna, first time, because first time I cook, the pork chop sandwich. My God, I fell in love with that because here we don't have that. Okay, so when Frank introduced me that, the pork chop sandwich, Cedric, oh my God. And of course, the smattered pork chop, wow. Wow, talaga. Oh, from Jane, the ultimate Filipina, boring sa place na tinitirhan namin malayo sa mall kaya lilipat kami. Oh yeah. Well, as you know, my place is very, where I'm very blessed. Okay, I'm very blessed to have this place because it's near to BGC, it's near to the airport, it's near to the mall, it's near to the bank, it's near to the market, wet market or public market. So we're in just like, we're in the center. It's just like, and it's easy, is easy to get transportation. We're in the south. Okay, we're in the south. Yeah, that's one thing that, here's the thing that, guys, that, if you're looking for a place, okay, don't uh go first, they shown, on the, on the picture, they shown very beautiful and nice. Okay, so don't say it yes, to sign the contract, or, to send, a deposit for that, because it's gonna be unrealistic, unless, unless that you have to view that place, because it happens to us, Jane. It takes month to find this place, because there's a lot of places that we went through. Okay, it's nice place, nice, the view, but the problem is, the unit, they don't really fix. Okay, I experienced some, there's a nice place, big floor area, but when you go inside, oh my god, the toilet, the toilet sink is rusty, and the kitchen the tiles was broken. So it takes long. Tuto Talumo, hi Tuto, thank you for coming, Tuto. Yeah, well, you know what, Cedric, I really, because here I noticed that, there's a lot of brothers coming here in the Philippines. In one thing, they're not, first time they came here in the Philippines, they're not really, they there's a little adjustment. There's a little adjustment of the food. Okay, Filipino food. But uh, I just, I have some idea also that, one day, in perfect time, I'm planning to build up, a restaurant that serve, okay, that serve uh, soul food. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to learn, how to make, the smattered pork chop. But I did not, I really want, to try the grits. Okay, grits. We don't have that grits here. I know how to bake cornbread, because one of uh, black people, they love cornbread, fried chicken. Yeah, we do fried chicken. I have my own recipe of fried chicken. And then, the only vegetable that we don't have, that I don't know what's the taste of that. We have kale here, but collard greens, we don't have that, we don't have that citric here in the Philippines. So that's one thing that I wish I could have, that seeds, so I can start to grow that. Because yeah, it's just like I'm planning, just bring home. Okay, because you cannot, if you're starting business like food, you have to start to just only bring home, so you don't have. So if it's really good, if there's a lot of, if there's a lot of black people that really wants your food that you serve, so maybe. But I'm planning just only for, for drive through, or bring home, soul food. Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that, the colored greens, but we have kale, turnips, but colored greens we don't. Cabbage, mustard. We have mustard here. But the mustard, it has a bitter taste. Yeah. And of course, catfish, fried catfish. We have catfish here. So I really want, I that's my future plan. Okay, to build up soul food, because here you don't, there's no soul food here, all over Manila. And I'm doubted if they have in outside Manila the the soul food. No, we don't. I'm pretty sure about that. That's the only ingredients. Okay, that's the only ingredients to making a soul food. We don't have the colored green. Catfish, we have, a lot of Filipino love catfish. Okay. So, and then, cornmeal. Yeah, we have cornmeal, and then, we plant corn. And that's the only, well, grits. You know, I have no idea about that. So I'm really, I'm so excited, to try the grits. We have corn here in the Philippines, Cedric, but we don't make some grits for that. Yeah. Well, when it comes, we have green bean, colored greens, fried chicken, potato salad. I know how to make potato salad. That's, American style, not Filipino style, because it's way different that, the potato salad, Filipino style than the American. So, yeah, that's a good soul food. Because, the thing is, when it comes to food, once I try it, and I know how to cook that. So I have a good skills when it comes to cooking. Once I taste it, one thing that, I really want, the food is just like I want to try it first. Okay, I want to try it first. It's okay if there is a chicken and catfish, that will be enough. Oh, yeah, chicken, we have a lot of chicken, catfish. Filipino love catfish also. I just said catfish for dinner. But you know what, Cedric? I don't eat catfish. Okay, but I cook catfish, good catfish for Frank. So instead of frying, I just bake. But the baked thing, it look like a fry. But once it's baked, so crunchy outside, soft inside. Okay. Okay, Cedric at Frank Tate, you're my hero. Enjoy yourself. Excuse me. But some those people, Western people. Okay, here's my advice when it comes to Filipino food. Okay, don't scared, don't scared or don't afraid, to try. Okay, even though they teasing about the balut, guys, don't be scared of the balut, because the balut is good. I love balut, but Frank, it's a big no no for balut. Okay. But some Western men, they love balut. Okay. But I try to convince Frank, to try the balut. But he don't. I did to convince him, one of my favorite, one of my favorite, I don't know, guys, if you know the bitter gourd. We call that in our language ampalaya. So the bitter gourd, and then he told me, what is that? And then I told him, oh, this is, a bitter gourd or ampalaya. And then I explained to him, the taste, it's a little bitter taste. Okay. And then I try I try to convince him, no, 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 try, because maybe they don't cook the same as I cook. Oh my god. So I was failed. Okay, because he said that the same taste, it's so bitter. So once I bought the the bitter gourd, I just I enjoy I enjoy that, because one of my favorite. It's just like for me, the bitter taste is not tolerable for me, because once you swallow it, it won't stay the bitter in your tongue or in your mouth. So for me, once you swallow it, the bitter taste is gone. At Lilibet Tate, I like how you pay attention to details in cooking soul food type of food for Frank. That is awesome, but no balut for me either. I'm sorry. Yeah, but Frank doesn't like also Cedric the balut. Well, it's just like here's the thing that I don't know. This is the way I am. Okay, this is the way I am. Okay, I love I love cooking. Okay, I love cooking. So my thought process for that is I always make it sure that every food that I cook for Frank, he loves that. Because it's just like, I know the feeling that you just eat because you need to eat, but you don't really enjoy the food because the food you don't like. So you have no choice. It's just to eat because you need to eat. It's just like you don't really enjoy the food that you like to eat. So that's my my thought process when it comes to Frank. I always make it sure that every food that I cook for him, he loves it. Okay, he loves it. So I'm not really, well, it's just like he tells me, oh, you know how to make this, sweetheart? And then I told him, what's the ingredients of that? How does it taste? And then, but he told me that, oh, I'm not really sure about that. So I researched about the name that, and of course, I just see something that, oh, okay, so let me try. Let me try. And you know what, guys? It found out that, my food that I cook for him is better than the food that he ate in the States. So it's just like for me is I really and of course I enjoy also see him that he enjoy the food that I cook for him. And the last words that I always heard from him that he enjoyed that. And it makes me feel happy also. It makes me feel happy also. Okay, Cedric. Well, my alarm just went off. Time for me to get up and get my back on the hamster wheel. Thanks for the live and have a great rest of the week. Thank you for coming, Cedric. I really appreciate that. Okay, from Frank, I do like Filipino food also. Only two things I won't eat, Lilibet. I will tell you what are they. I know that already, Frank. I know already that. you want you want me to name it? Hi sis Maria, kamusta? Happy Valentine to you too. Kamusta yung ano mo, Sis Maria? Kamusta yung Valentine's mo? Mapula ba ang puso mo? Maputla o maputi ang puso mo ngayong February 14? Maputla? Mapula? Okay, so the food that you don't like, Frank, is ampalaya and balot. Balot. He doesn't like balot. Ay. But for me, I eat balut, but balut is just like only one or two. I'm good with that. More than two, I can't. I can't eat more than two. I eat balut, but it's just like I prepare. The balut is just like uh 14 days because the embryo it's not too big, but it's just like if it's 22 days, you can tell that you can feel the bone of the duckling, and then some there's you can really taste on on the feeder. Online date. Oh, how is the online date? Speaking of online date, I'm just very curious about are you familiar with that, sis, that the online wedding? So I'm just I'm very curious about how does it work, the online wedding. I tried yesterday going in Hong Kong. Yeah, it's strange, it's oh my God, sorry guys, I apologize because of the loading thing. Guys, here in the Philippines, when it comes to internet connection, you will really experience things like this. Okay, it all of a sudden on the live streaming, it all of a sudden stop loading and loading. Travel together with family. So how long it's from Macau going to Hong Kong? So how many hours or how many minutes? Yeah, that's sweet. You travel with your family. Yeah, connecting is problem. So it's just like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? Connection is problem. Sis Maria, you can join with me. If you want. If you want. I already post the link on the first. All you have to do is just scroll down. So I just post the link there. 45 minutes by bus. Oh, not too far. Not too far. Oh, so how is the COVID thing in Macau? Okay, it's okay. I understand. Yeah, that's why, my husband told me that, would you like to go outside, for, no, I told him, no, I just stay home. I want to enjoy, the four corner of the house. Yeah, because, when I watch, it's still in Hong Kong, the COVID cases, it's still high. And when it comes to, travel restriction, they're very strict because, the COVID is still there. And that's what I mentioned when I started, on the live streaming. Uh, some people, they catch colds, okay? But they think, it's just like, in Tagalog, they have trangkaso. But that's part of COVID. The only thing that it did not get worse because, our body has protection, the vaccine that we got. So I really, I would love, before the COVID thing, I really like, to go around, but, it's just like when I saw that, oh, it's easy to catch colds. Back to normal already is that tourists open now here in Macau. Mm. Okay, sis, it's been a long time that, you've been there in Macau. So how do you, how do you, can you tell me how, how Chinese people treated Filipino, especially working in Macau, how they treated, Filipino there in Macau? Are they, uh snobby? Are they what do you call that? Demanding? Yeah, yeah. That's one thing that even though that here it's quite hot, I always wear mask. Okay, I always wear mask for that because especially some people that when they sneeze, they don't really cover their nose or their mouth. And of course, when I arrive home, I always, always disinfect myself, wash my hands with soap and water twice and put alcohol. And the Lunar New Year. So when I watch some video, oh my God, I really love, to watch, the dragon dance. So, so nice. But I told to Franco going to Binondo because every year there's a dragon dance in Binondo. Well, I refuse, to go there because I know that there's a lot of people go to Binondo just just to witness the dragon dance. So I prepared, to stay home. Well, I just watch dragon dance on YouTube. Macau Chinese very different compare in Hong Kong. What do you mean, So you mean that, people in Macau is more on friendly than, people in Hong Kong? Yeah, because in Hong Kong, it was, they was, under by British colony. So it's just like recently that, the British government returned the, Hong Kong to, China. And then, well, until now, the thing about, because, a lot of Chinese people living in Hong Kong, they don't want, to go back to, to China. So I don't know what's going on there in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, open termination. Mm, okay. So that's, that's the difference between, the Chinese in Macau and Chinese in Hong Kong. Yeah, because I think maybe because of, Sis Maria, because of, during the British time, they're under, the Hong Kong is under a British colony. So that's why, some, some Chinese people has, has a personality that is not similar to people in Macau. And that's what I noticed about, okay, there's a lot of Filipino OFW in Hong Kong, okay? And I can tell some of their employer how their employer treated them. Majority are very, very, what do you call that? Very demanding when it comes, when it comes to, working with them. But some, some Chinese employer, they're, they're very considerable, and they're very considerate with their, with their, worker, or with their employee. Okay. I have not been to Hong Kong since crackdown. Yeah. Actually, from here in the Philippines, going to Hong Kong is too near. Well, it's just like one thing that, like you said, Frank, that you don't really want to go back to Hong Kong because of, the things that happen now. Okay, from Maria Rosario de la Peña, because in Hong Kong, money doesn't care. Every day termination. Yeah, it's just like, well, this is the thing that why they keep doing that. Why they keep doing that, Sis Maria? Because whether, whether Chinese or other national or Filipino, once their boss is terminated their job, they don't have the thing that, okay, you have the right, you have the right, to file case against your, against your boss. Because it reminds me of my, well, way back 1990s, my auntie. So she worked in Hong Kong as a, as a caregiver, okay? And then there's something that, there's something that, between her and her employer, there's a something that, her employer accused, I forgot the, the things that, her employer accused her. But, she has the, she has the proof that she did not do nothing. And, it takes a month, to process that, because a lot of, they, the employer think that, oh, it's easy, it's easy for her, to terminate her. But, my auntie did not allow her, to do that. So she hired attorney for that. But it takes all my auntie's salary. It came from the lawyer. But thanks God that it's worth it because he won the case. And you know what? Her employer paid double the amount that uh, she has to pay with her. Instead pay her, but she refused to pay her because of that thing that he thinks that, oh, you're just my worker and you have no right to sow case against me. But she was wrong. And my auntie, she's not ordinary house help or house caregiver, but she is a educated woman. So she did. And after that, after she won, and then the employer pay her, and then she stopped for for about 1 year. 1 year, and then she go back to Hong Kong for after 1 year, in a different area in Hong Kong, because she did not go back to that area that where she worked, because she might the boss was so furious towards her, because she did not expect that my auntie uh, hire attorney. She won the case, because there's so many, they underestimated you know their my auntie. Okay, because they think that it doesn't mean that uh Filipino working abroad, they're not educated. My God, they are the only thing that they go abroad, because the employment here in the Philippines is not as good when it comes pay, is not as good in other country. That's why. So she was wrong that my auntie, she's educated and she know better how to fight for her right. So thanks God that she won for that. So yeah, I think that's what happened, because a lot of employee and uh they're not really what do you call that, they're not brave enough to know their right and how to fight their right. Because some, especially for those Filipino, they just, okay, I just leave for that. But you have to, because if you just leave and accept the thing that they're doing to you, they keep doing that. They keep doing that. It's easy for them to terminate people working with them, period. So if the workers, it doesn't matter if you're not Filipino, or it doesn't matter, as long as you know what is your right and you can still fight. Okay, that's why they keep doing that, sis Maria, because a lot of people, they don't pursue their rights, to fight for this, ano ba yun, in Tagalog, they take, mapansamantalang mga employer. Okay. Sis at Lily, is that is right. Says if the employer want to terminate. Hmm. And if you make case, it's not easy. The procedure also months and year. Yeah, that's why my auntie, it takes months, to process the thing. And of course, the reason why that uh she won on the case, because of course she hired a Chinese lawyer. So every time that the Chinese lawyer my auntie go, of course there's a payment. Okay, but it's worth it. MK Mobile Gaming in the Philippines, hello, magandang gabi. How is your Valentine's Day with your with your girlfriend, with your fiance? How is how do you celebrate? Do you celebrate, MK? So even though here in the Philippines, the kasambahay here, some employer, they don't really, because we all know that here in the Philippines there's a kasambahay law, unlike before that, there's no protection about the house help here or kasambahay. So we cannot really tell the word katulong, because that's a slavery word, katulong. So to make give a dignity for those for those house help, we call that kasambahay. Okay, kasambahay. So you don't really treated them as as a a house help. You treated them as a part of your family by saying kasambahay, not katulong, because the katulong was really put your kasambahay down. So a lot of Filipino employer here, they don't really follow what's on the kasambahay law, but some kasambahay, they're not really into that, because they said it's they are rich. No, you don't have to feel that. That's why we have public attorney's office. You can ask uh, legal advice, and they will give you if you need attorney, because in the kasambahay law, there's we have a law. So if your employer will not follow the law, you can file case. Okay, you can file case, but some kasambahay, they're not really into that. That's why some of the Filipino employer, some okay guys, some, they keep doing that. It's easy for them you know to, especially here's their style, especially if it's almost Christmas is coming, because within 30 days work, your kasambahay is entitled to Christmas bonus, 13 month, all the benefits that the kasambahay laws is written. Okay, they're entitled that within 30 days. So some employer, they just do something to terminate their kasambahay, because they don't want to give this benefits that their kasambahay needed to have. So that's their style. So for those kasambahay, it's just like uh don't tolerate this type of this employer, because they keep doing that. They keep doing that. Unlike before, that we don't have they don't have the right to complain, because there's no law when it comes to kasambahay. But now there is a kasambahay law. So don't be afraid for that, because if they afraid, some employer, they keep doing that. Okay, Maria, I think that's case with your auntie been long year ago, because since I came in Hong Kong 2009, 2009, it's already implement already in determination. Yeah. Yeah, that's long time ago, sis Maria. The termination is included the contract. If the employer wants to termination, we need to pay 1 month salary. Yeah, it's just like it happened. I think they're very careful about that, because during the first year of lockdown, there was a Filipina that she was positive of COVID-19. This is in Hong Kong, not in Macau. So once her employer knows that she's positive in COVID-19, automatically her employer terminate her, and she didn't know where she gonna go, because that, the first year of lockdown in Hong Kong was, every hours there's a deal, people in the hospital was so crowded. And then that's one thing that, there's another blogger that, try, to ask help from the, from the president. That's why I think, that's why, the government look out for those, for those employer. Because here's the thing, they have to shoulder the cost of expensive for medication for their worker. Okay, so they cannot, uh refuse, or they cannot terminate their worker, especially if their, worker is sick. So I think that's, that's the, they change, unless that they gonna, they gonna blacklisted for those, if they're looking for, for the house help. The termination in, okay, yes, I know, because I work also in Hong Kong for almost 6 years, so I know some law. Yeah, that's, that's one thing that you have fight for your right. Okay, no matter what. Okay, so how did you know if you don't want to try? Yes, because we have insurance, automatically the employer pay the insurance here. Hmm. So I think that's one of the, the policy, the policy between the Hong Kong government and Philippine government about that case, about that Filipina that, she was in the street. Okay, she was in the street and she was sick that time, and nobody wants to help her because she was infected. And no, and then that time, during the, during the first year of lockdown, you know nobody wants to talk to you, nobody wants to help you, because I understand they scared also, to get that virus. So that's, I think that's the government uh, pay attention about that. It's just like what happened, in Kuwait. After all, what happened to the Filipina, that she was burned with her, the son of her employer. So that's, that's very important also, that, fight for your right. Yes, it because we have insurance, automatically the employer pay the insurance. Okay. Yeah, because, if the, if there's a law, and then if your employer don't follow the law, and then if you're the worker or employee, you just accept that from your employer, they cannot keep doing that. Okay, so you have strong enough, to fight for your right, because, your employer will not, help you if you allow them, to do that for you. So that's, that's the thing that. Oh yeah. No, sis, you're wrong. Some of Chinese, even we have COVID during that time, some places together with helper. Oh yeah. So that's, that's very, that's very, scary, because what if your, immune system is not as strong as other, it's easy for you, to get sick, and you might end up lose your life. Mm-hmm. That's, that's Well, it's just like, here's the thing that, I'm not saying all. So don't take this as offended for those, for Chinese people. But, they have something, well, I don't know in you, Sis Maria, they have something that, they have a personality that it's hard for them, to have a consideration with other people. And sometimes Chinese people, even we have COVID, never declared in hospital, even to the helpers. Oh yeah. So they just keep uh silence about that. Okay, from Frank. Maria, did you ever stay at any of the hotels in Macau? Well, Macau is, that's the Vegas of East. That's why I told mostly Chinese people in Hong Kong there is no consideration. Yeah. Okay. So Frank is very interesting what that hotel, says Maria. Maybe we can go to Macau. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's just like, okay, so there's a lot of Filipino in Hong Kong instead going to Macau. So is the salary is higher than in Macau? So what I mean is, the salary from Hong Kong is higher than Macau. Yeah. Oh, okay. So not much. Okay. Well, for me, it's just like, okay, they treated me like, ugh, I'm just shit on that. I prepare to go to Macau because, like you said, that, the people treated there is better than, in Hong Kong. It's just like, the pay is not as, just a little difference. But, here's the thing, sis Maria, is, when it comes to language barrier, is it, you had a hard time, you had a hard time to deal with the people in Macau? because in Macau, just few people speak English. They speak, I think they use three language, the Cantonese, the Mandarin, and Hokkien. So what language they use in Macau? Is it Hokkien or Cantonese or Mandarin? Oh, okay. Yeah, because you've been there for 11 years, sis. So I understand that you learn. You learn Cantonese. Okay, Cantonese. Is it hard, is it hard, to learn Cantonese than Mandarin or Hokkien? Hokkien. Hokkien. It reminds me of Frank that he went to Hong Kong and he was uh about Chinese, the accent. He just laughed. What is the dollar rate in Macau? What's the money in Macau? Oh, I don't know, Frank. It's not dollar in Macau. I think in Hong Kong it's dollar. Also mixed Cantonese, Mandarin, Cantua, and also Portuguese. Pataka. That's the money? That's the Chinese money? Hmm. There's a lot of language in China. Yeah. Okay, so I have a question here, guys, for those ones, to because I'm gonna end up this 1 hour and 30 minutes, but it's still a few minutes, to go. For those who wants to answer this question, feel free. And because this is a lot of OFW can relate on this question. Okay, so guys, are you ready? So here's my question. How does a person dealing with sadness, for those OFW, or let's say dealing with homesick, first time you came in Macau or in Hong Kong, sis, how do you feel about dealing with this homesick, or you feel sadness about this? Because I never been to abroad, but when I was when I was 18, I left home, and then I feel, oh my God, it's just like, it's a, f- a few months, it takes 6 months, I'm crying, and I can't really relate on the food that I used to eat the food in in my in my village, that this is the food that because when it comes to food, we're not really into the fried thing. We don't really use, we just cook food that as much as we can. We avoid oil, we avoid seasoning, we don't eat canned foods, we don't eat noodles. So when I came here in Manila, oh my God, it takes 6 months to adjust the food, because I don't like the smell and I don't like the taste. I'm looking for the food that I eat in my village. So that's one thing that it takes 6 months to adjust when it comes to food. And then I was crying, and I'm looking for for the care of my mother. So but months goes by, years goes by, I adjust that. I realize that I have to stand by myself. Forget it, the homesick, or the sadness. I started as of 2003, and I also all my kids already here. Oh, that's good thing. That's good thing in you, Sis Maria, because you don't really feel homesick because your kids in with you. But some other OFW, that they cannot really have their children while they're working, because it depends also in the with the employer. There are so many Filipino in Hong Kong, easy to make friends here. I think that's there's an area in Hong Kong that it's just like the meeting place of all Filipino workers. And it's just like in the plaza. I don't know what's the name of the plaza that a lot of Filipino, because it reminds me of my auntie, that every weekend, her day off, there's a lot of Filipina there, that some Filipina, they do on some extra money, they do petty and many, or they do a haircut, just to get a few dollars for that. And then they just do picnic, get together. Yes, Frank, it is okay. So, okay, guys, so I already 1 hour and 30 minutes. So, Sis Maria, I really appreciate that you come with me. So, thank you so much. So, I hope that you will have a good Valentine's Day celebration with your family. And for those coming, Cedric, uh, I see, of course, my one and only love, Frank Tate, and Jane. Okay, thank you so much, guys. And I'm gonna end up this show. So, okay. So I gonna end up this show. So I don't want to stay long, because I know that some of you have some things to do. And thank you so much, guys. And once again, happy Valentine's to everyone in the West. So tomorrow they're gonna celebrate their Valentine's Day, because now it's on the 13th of February. So here in the Philippines we do advance. So thank you so much, guys, and have a good night to everyone, and have a good day to everyone. Bye.